Yo, YouTube, what's up with y'all, man? What's up with it? Y'all already know it's your boy Elijah B, and I'm back at y'all with a brand new video. And as always, hit the notification bell and hit the subscribe button and all that. And yeah, man, y'all already know what it is, man. As always, I'm back at y'all with a brand new video, and y'all already know what the drill is, man. Like, comment, and subscribe down below because you already know what kind of time it is. And yeah, man, let's just get into it and all that. And so for tonight's topic, I'm going to be talking about laziness and why some people are lazy or why some people might be lazy, part two and all that. Because I just recently made a video about laziness and why some people are lazy and just the reasons and all that, and like why some people are lazy and why some people might or might not be lazy and all that. And let's just dive into it. And as always, I'm also going to be speaking about other topics, or also be speaking about other recent videos or other recent posts that I made as well and all that. But let's dive on into it, man. Let's get into it. So I'm just gonna leave where I left off at in my last video and all that about laziness and all that. And I mean, shit, man. This is getting. I mean, I don't know. I feel like in today's era, in 2025 and all that, people are at a point where they're sick and tired of giving their all and giving, you know what I'm saying, giving everything they've got just to get the bare minimum or just to get nothing in return for it. And a lot of people are starting to get fed up with that. And it seems like a lot of people are giving everything that they have to these companies and you know what I'm saying, all these other corporations or whatever you want to call it and all that, and they're not really getting anything out of it. And it's like people are giving their all and sacrificing them or everything that they have just to get the bare minimum or get nothing in return and all that. And people really have the nerve to wonder why some people are lazy or why some people don't want to work and all that. And as a matter of fact, actually, I've been seeing videos all over social media about OGs or these old heads or these older generations calling our generation lazy and all that. And you know what, to a certain extent, yeah, some people are lazy, but then some people are fatigued, and then some people are burnt out from giving their all and sacrificing so much and this, that, and the third just to gain the bare minimum or just to gain nothing at all and all that. And I'm pretty sure that that can be very frustrating for a lot of people, especially for Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and Gen Beta. It's very fucking irritating. It is. And this is why you have a generation full of people who don't want to work and all that. And it's not that we're just lazy and we want someone just to take care of us while we lay on our backs all day and all that. And it's like we're trying to create like a way for ourselves legally, at least, and all that. And we want to. It's like we still want to work and we still want to be productive somehow, but we want to work in our own way to where we can still like we want to. It's like we want to live life to the fullest, but we still want to be able to make money and be constructive and productive somehow and all that. But that kind of lifestyle only works for certain people and all that. So that's and then on the other hand, you have people out here who are working their asses off at these jobs and all that, and working multiple jobs and working. Like, it's crazy out here, bro. Like, you really got people out here working like what, 40, 60, 80 plus hours, and they're still broke and all that. Like, as a matter of fact, I have a homie named Terrell and all that, and this bruh worked like this nigga worked like damn near like what, like 9 days in a row straight, and he's still, I'm not trying to like talk shit on him. I'm not trying to like, you know what I'm saying, like speak like I'm not trying to like speak any negativity on him, but he's still probably on some broke shit and still suffering and struggling. Like, niggas really got to work that damn hard just to still be suffering and struggling and all that. And then when people get fed up about it and they have like a justified reason to be angry about that kind of shit, then we're called lazy. We have an attitude and all this. And me personally, I'm sick and fucking tired of it. I'm sick and tired of all the having to sacrifice certain shit, and having to sacrifice a mass majority of your life for society just for it to give you bare minimum or for it to give you nothing in return for it. Like, I don't like I get and then these older generations, like these OGs, these old heads, and these older generations and shit. Like, I mean, yeah, back in the day, like at least they got something out of it and all that, and they didn't have to like go through the same shit that we had to go through, and they didn't have to work like as hard as we had to work and all that. But at the same time, I'm actually contradicting myself by saying this shit because back in the day, the older generations had to work a whole lot harder than we had to, and they had it bad as well because they didn't have the technology and the resources that our generation has and all that. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, my generation this and no, like every single generation is gonna have to deal with some kind of hardship or have to deal with some kind of like adversities or challenges or problems. Like every generation is gonna go through some kind of, you know what I'm saying, problems or issues and all that. Like I'm not trying to sit here and like play the victim and trying to say that like, oh, it's hard, why me? And I'm not asking for no sympathy or no empathy, but I'm, you know what I'm saying? And then today, as a matter of fact, actually, I got into a verbal altercation with my mother and all that, and she called me a loser and all that. And this is the woman who gave birth to me. This is my mother, the woman who you know what I'm saying, who was supposed to like raise me and all that, and was supposed to prepare me for the world and all that shit. But my own mother called me a loser and all that. And this is the exact same woman who's gonna be like, oh, go get a job, so you won't be in one of your moves. Go get a job, go to school, get an education. So what was the point of me having? What's the point of me being intelligent and being who I am today and having all this education and all these pointless ass jobs and shit? If she's gonna call me a loser, like there's plenty of educated people who are still losers. There's plenty of people who have a job, who work a job and are still losers and are still suffering and struggling. Like what's the point of playing by society's rules if people like me or if people who are or if anyone, there's anyone watching this video and all that, and for anyone who can resonate with this video and all that, like what's the point of living following society's rules and playing by the script that society writes for us and all that if we're going to be looked at as losers and nobodies and nothing? This is also another reason why people are so quote unquote lazy today and they have given up and they don't want to work and all that, and they lack some motivation and all that. Like I'm pretty sure like if it came to like their own personal goals or whatever they wanted in life for themselves and all that, they would have all the motivation in the world. But when it comes time to like do anything for like society or like do what society says and all that, then it's like, why bother playing by the rules if you're still gonna, you know what I'm saying, get called a loser and people the world's gonna put you down and all that, and people are still gonna have like smoke with you and animosity and all this, and then it's like the people who don't follow society's rules and the people who go against the script that society writes for most people, yeah, these are the winners. But yes, society has the nerve to look down on these people, and yeah, okay, yeah, fine. Some of them did it the wrong way. Some of them were evil pieces, evil pieces of shit, and terrible human beings and all that. But we only have one life on this earth and all that. And I just don't see and and anyone watching this video, I just don't get the point of playing by society's rules and playing by the script. If we're just gonna be called losers and get looked down upon by the society that we're forced to contribute to, and you know what I'm saying. And I feel like I think I might have even said this in my last video, but this is why a lot of men have opted out of society and all that. This is why like this is why the workforce is the way it is now and all that. And I was even talking to my dad. I got in contact with my dad again and all that, and he even said there's like 600,000 trade jobs available and all that. And it's like, okay, so then why do I keep seeing videos about people like looking for like having a hard time looking for jobs and all that, and like, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like these people have to like, it's like you have to spend damn near like every single day stuck in like these buildings or be stuck at these places and be stuck at these jobs and all that. And then it's like, um, and this is also a reason like why a lot of people like can't like live their life nowadays, and why people can't like live and like have fun and like be able to actually enjoy life and all that, because most of their life is being stuck in a building or being stuck at a job damn near all the time and all that. And then on top of that, people have to like overwork themselves and have to work like I said 40, 60, 80 plus hours just to still be stuck and broken, still be in survival mode and still be in the exact same position. Like nobody, like, you know what I'm saying, like nobody wants to spend the rest of their life trying to live in survival mode and all that shit. And I'm kind of sick of how these old heads or these older generations want to call us lazy and talk shit about like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and Gen Beta, and oh, your generation is lazy and all this. And it's like nobody's trying to spend the rest of their life living in survival mode. Nobody wants to spend the rest of their life working hard and giving their all and sacrificing damn near everything they have just to get the bare minimum or just to get nothing in return for it, or just to get like a very small reward for it. No one's trying to sacrifice everything they have and give their whole life away to these companies, these organizations, these corporations and industries just to get called fucking losers and get looked down upon by the society that they're forced to contribute to just for it to give them nothing back in return, when the people who are either who don't follow the script, who don't live by the rules and don't play by society's script, but these are the people who get praised for it. These are the people who get the most money, power, love, respect, sex, status, power and recognition, right? But these are the people who didn't follow society's rules. These are the people who went against the script and all that. But yeah, these are the successful people. And I'm going to repeat myself. We live in a backwards ass world and all that. And I just don't know why some people just can't seem to wake up and just realize that shit. Everyone thinks that everything is a Disneyland fairy tale, and everyone's gonna get the Disneyland. I can't talk. I'm stuttering. Hold on. Everybody thinks that they're going to get the Disney fairy tale happy ending and all that, when that's not going to happen for every single person on this planet. Like, you know what? Okay, all right, fine. Maybe like a small percentage of people might get that Disney movie fairy tale happy ending and all that, but that's not going to be every single person and all that. And it's like a vast majority of people are just going to work themselves into the fucking ground and all that, and no one's trying to do that. Like, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and Gen Beta, like, we want to live our life to the. It's like we're trying to figure out a way to live our life to the fullest and still be able to make money off of it and all that. And another thing I want to speak on real quick is I'm getting sick and tired of this whole like, a real man's supposed to do this, a real man's supposed to do that. I'm really getting sick and tired of that shit too. I'm getting sick and tired of that, like, that guilt trip or that shaming tactic that women try to use, or that other people try to use on you to make you feel bad, or try to like manipulate you into doing whatever they want and all that. And then it's like, I don't like, and I just don't get it. How come women don't have all these obligations and have all these restrictions on them, but then it's like men have all these obligations and restrictions on them though. Like, it's getting very fucking irritating. And if and if America wasn't so fucking soft, and America wasn't full of pussies and fake tough people and all that, no homo, but I think we should all dig in our pants and grab our dick and our balls and our gooches and all that, and we have a full on revolt against. You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't have all these we're not obligated to do shit because of our gender, like. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's funny how people want to preach about, like, equality and all that, but there's no such thing as equality and all that. Equality doesn't exist. Like, equality exists, like, in some situations or some scenarios, equality exists, but equality doesn't exist, especially when it comes to like genders and like what's expected of one another, and like obligations, responsibilities, and like responsibilities and all that. Like, there is no equality in that shit. So. And then I'm sick and tired of these older generations trying to raise us for a world that doesn't exist anymore and all that. And then when it backfires and all that, then it's our fault and all that, and we're supposed to figure it all out because we're adults and all that. And I have and this is also irrelevant to this video, but I have another topic I want to speak on real quick, and I'm not sure whether I spoke on this or not, but I've also noticed a pattern about like how our moms, our dads, our cousins, our uncles, and our aunties, our grandpas and grandmas, or whatever you want to call them, or family members and all that. I've noticed how like they treat like our generation, like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and Gen Beta. They treat us like little kids and all that, but then they expect us to be adult. It's like we're only grown when they can profit or benefit off of it, but then any other time we're treated like a kid. Well, I'm not sure about you guys or for anybody out here who's actually watching this video, but I know I am. I'm getting sick and fucking tired of it. It's like the only time I'm an adult is when my family members or when anybody around me can profit off of me being an adult and all that. But then when it's actually time to do some real adult shit, or when it's time to like just, you know what I'm saying, do anything that's like adult and all that, then everybody wants to act all fucking soft and scary and make excuses and want to act all overprotective and treat like you're a kid and all that. But then they expect you to grow up and all that. Like, how do our parents expect us to grow up and all that? But then they're gonna fucking overly protect us and baby us and treat us like kids and all that. And then when we call them out on it, now they want to guilt trip us and then try to make it seem like we're the bad guy and all that. Like, it's funny. This is why I've also seen videos about why our generation isn't growing up, or why people aren't growing up the way that they used to anymore, or why people aren't maturing the way that people used to mature and grow and all that. And it's because of these soft ass, overly protective ass parents and all that. And you're only an adult when society can profit or benefit off of you being an adult. But other than that, you're treated like a little kid. And I'm not sure. And for anybody who can resonate with this topic that I'm speaking on, or for anyone who can resonate with this video and all that, I'm getting fucking sick and tired of it. And I'm sick and tired of our like my parents or like society using, oh, you're 25 years old, so you know what I'm saying? Like you're only grown when society or your parents or your family members can profit off of you being a grown adult and all that. But then when it's time to really do some like adult shit and all that, then everybody wants to overprotect you and treat you like you're a little kid and all that, and then treat you like you're like a little baby, an infant, a toddler, a preschooler, or even like a elementary school kid, or even a middle schooler. And that's also part of the reason why our generation isn't growing up and all that. And then but back to the whole like laziness thing and all that. But yeah, man. Like I said, man, I got into a verbal altercation with my mother today, and she called me a loser and all that. And I'm not gonna lie, I did some stuff. I shouldn't have done it, but I tossed the. I remember I was drinking like a protein shake when she called me a loser, so I drank half the protein shake and then dumped the rest of it in her face and all that. And I know I'm wrong for that shit, but at the same time, it's just like you can't like why like you know what I'm saying, like how are parents going to tell you to go to school and get a pointless bullshit education and go get a job and all this crap and all that just for them to talk down on you and call you a loser. And that's kind of the reason why we don't want to do it in the first place, because it's like because it's like what no matter what some people do, or no matter what some, you know what I'm saying, no matter how much some no I can't talk, no matter how much effort some people put in, it's never going to be good enough. It's never gonna be enough for our family, our friends, and the world around us. But yet the world expects us to burn ourselves out and sacrifice damn near everything that we have and give our blood, sweat, and tears just for it to give us negative reinforcement. And me personally, I'm sick and tired of. I'm pretty sure you guys, or for anybody watching this video, like I'm pretty sure you guys are sick and tired of the negative reinforcement as well and all the bullshit that society gives you. But yeah, it's like society wants you to give you. Hold on. It's like society wants you to give 100%. Well, it gives you like 10% or gives you even 5% back. Like no one's gonna keep doing that shit. And I'm pretty sure that. And I feel like and I feel like my like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta, and the next and upcoming generations that are gonna come out later on as time progresses and all that, they're gonna wake up and start seeing this shit for what it is as well and all that. And this is why people are trying to find like creative or like find fun and creative ways to make money where they can make some kind of career out of what they love doing, or find some kind of like easier career where they can like it's like you can live your life at the fullest, but you can still like make money and still be productive in a positive way without having to do like no like scamming, no illegal dumb shit, or without having to risk your life and your freedom and all that. Because I don't because the successful people who went against society's rules, the people who didn't follow society's script, the ones who were successful, the ones who made it, whether they did it the legal way or the illegal way, I don't see them getting called losers. I don't see women rejecting them and ignoring them and having all these high ass standards and requirements for them though. But then women want to have all these high ass standards and requirements and all that shit for the niggas who contribute to society and give their blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice them or everything for this damn world just to gain nothing in return for it. And that's also another reason why I feel like some men are starting to give up as well and all that, because it's like we're giving our all to society, or men are giving all that they can to society just for it to give them damn near nothing back in return, all that. And it's like we're giving it's like pause, but we're giving our asses away, pause, no diddy. And then and just for us to get fucked in it, or just for us to get bent over and get taken. And I'm surprised that like a lot of men can still walk after getting bent over and taking it up the ass for so long and all that, and like, you know what I'm saying, not getting any kind of reward for it. Like, I don't get what it is with these OGs and all that. And I'm sick and tired of people trying to tell me to, oh, go to school, get an education, go get this job, and go get this. And it's like, it's like no matter what some men do or no matter what some people do, it's always they're still gonna find some way to, or people are still gonna find some way to give them shit or give them some form of negative reinforcement for it. And people are like slowly beginning to lose their patience and all that. And then this is why this is why Gen Z keeps like clashing with like the Gen Z, like Generation Z and all that. This is why we keep clashing with like the old heads, the OGs, the older generations and all that, and even especially the baby boomer generation too. Like y'all got rewarded, y'all got hella rewards, and y'all got something out of it. But our generation, we're not getting nothing out of it. And then with this hyperinflation shit, everything's getting more and more and more expensive and all that, and we're not going to keep sacrificing everything that we have and keep giving our lives away just for everything to keep progressively or for things for slowly to get worse and get more expensive and all that. And I just look at how people are grateful and happy that they have to give away everything that they have, and they have to give their life, their energy, their freedom, and their time just to keep giving more and more of it, just to not really gain nothing out of it. I mean, yes, some people are getting something out of it, but what about for masses? What about for the masses of people who are getting nothing out of it though? Nobody ever wants to speak on that though. Nobody ever wants to, like, you know what I'm saying, talk about that though. That's like, why should a man work his ass off trying to get an education and trying to get a job and all that when someone who doesn't who's when someone can just do the bare minimum and yet they get the girl at the end of the day. And another reason that that some people are lazy nowadays is because like a lot of men aren't getting their sexual needs met, and men need like female energy and female presence in their life, and without that it's kind of hard for a man to be motivated. It's going to be hard for a man to have drive and have to or it's going to be hard for men to have drive and ambition to get up and at least try to make something of themselves and all that. And at the end of the day, like, if you fail and all that and you don't try at all, like you didn't make no effort to like at least try, then that's an issue. But if you fail and you at least made an effort and you at least tried, then that's what matters the most and all that. But it's like society's not really giving you a real incentive to really try and all that, because it's like we're giving our all and all just to get nothing out of it. Well, the person who did the bare minimum or did absolutely nothing or didn't have to lift a finger, yet they get all the rewards that the people who are sacrificing damn near everything that they have to get it aren't really getting shit out of it. And I don't understand why more and more people aren't speaking on topics like this and all that. And people are perfectly okay with getting fucked over and all that because they think that at the end of the day they're gonna go to the pearly white gates of heaven and get some kind of reward for it, and there's some kind of reward at the end of the rainbow and all that. And I said this in my last video and all that, but I hate, like, I don't know. We live in a world where people justify and they glorify suffering and struggling and all that, and everybody thinks that and even people who've been suffering and struggling for what 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 plus years of their life think that they're going to get some kind of reward for it. And it's like, haven't you been struggling damn near your entire life and yet you're still kind of in the exact same position? Like, only like a small percentage of people will get rewarded for their struggling or get rewarded for what they went through, but masses of people are just going to struggle for the rest of their damn lives just to gain nothing and all that. And I just don't see how people just can't seem to open their fucking eyes and can't see that. Like, people just don't want to don't want to pull the wool from take the wool from over their eyes and all that. Like, they just have this cloth like over their eyes and all. They have this blanket or this cloth over their eyes, thinking that, and that's why a lot of people are stuck in their delusional ways and all that, because they want to listen. They want to listen to like the small percentage of people who became successful, or to listen to the small percentage of people who are actually very successful, very rich, very wealthy, who are in power and also have like a lot of influence as well and all that. And it's like, that's a small percentage of people, and it's like the masses want to listen to the small percentage of people who have all this power, money, influence, status, whatever you want to call it. I don't need to get into that, but you already know what I'm talking about. And then it's like masses of society follow the small percentage of people that are actually successful and that are actually like living the dream that like the masses of people want to live and all that. Like, I know a couple of people like I want to give a shout out to my homie Nizam and all that. I have a friend named Nizam and all that, and he has a brother named Mahari and all that. I want to give a shout out to Mahari. Shout out to Hari. whatever his rap name is and all that. And even Mahari, Nizam's brother Mahari does music and all that, and his music's actually good. But I'm not even gonna front with you. Like Mahari's music is gas. Like that shit's actually I listened to a couple of Mahari songs, and his songs are actually very good and all that. And I even have a friend, and I also want to give a shout out to my homie 510 Tudo and all that. His name is Jose and all that. And for anybody watching this video, y'all need to go look up 510 Tudo, Tutto, 510 Tudo. I want to give a shout out to the homie 510 Tudo. He's even trying to like do music. He wants to make it out and try to make it out as well and all that. And I support people who like try to like, you know what I'm saying. And our generation is trying to do something like that because not, you know what I'm saying? No one's trying to give away their whole damn life and sacrifice everything that they have in their life just to still be poor and not to really gain nothing out of it and all that, because it's like, yeah, our parents gained something out of it, but our parents grew up in a completely different timeline when everything was dirt ass cheap and when everything was a whole lot more like when the world was like a much better and a better genuine place to live in and all that. But in today's era and all that, I just don't know why our parents keep trying to force the old school way of life or force the traditional way of life in today's society when it's not going to work. Like it'll work for like certain people and all that, but it's not going to work for everybody. And then I have a question for everybody who's actually watching this video. And actually, it's not even a question, but it's more I have a rhetorical question. And for anybody who doesn't know what a rhetorical question is, it's a question that doesn't need to be answered, not by you guys at least, but I'm gonna answer my own question. What was the point? What was the point of my mom, my dad, and my whole entire family trying to like force me, impress me to go to school, get an education, be a good person, and do this, that, and the third, just for me to be in the position that I'm in right now when making videos like the one that I'm making today? What was the point of it? And what was the point of them having all this education and all that when they're not even that successful their damn selves? Like they act like and it's funny how they'll clown us for not going to school or not having a job and all that, but then it's like they've been alive for 2 or 3 times as long as us and all that, and yet they're still stuck in a very similar position. They're still stuck in the exact same spot. Like why don't they know how to like build a business from scratch, from the ground up with no money or anything? Why don't they know how to like give generational wealth or build like a lot of wealth or anything? And why don't they know anything about the system or know anything about finances and all that? But then they've been on this earth for 2 or 3 times as long as we've been on here, or they've been on this earth 2 or 3 times longer than we've been on this planet our damn selves. And I'm basically I'm just for anybody watching this video as well. Because I don't get what the point. Because I remember back when I was a little kid, like it even get to the point where like I would get like whoopings, I would get beaten, not like on some child abuse shit, but I would get whipped with a belt, get slapped in the face and all that, and it's a little stuff like that and all that. What was the point of my parents like putting all this pressure on me to get an education and go to school and all that, just for them to call me a fucking loser years later? Like didn't I do the right thing and I'm still a loser? Didn't they do the right thing and yet they're still a loser? And I have news for you guys, for anyone watching this video. A mass majority of people are losers, and some people are just better at hiding it than others. And then I'm not trying to like talk about women and cry about women or whatever, but what about for the losers who can still get a girlfriend, who can still have sex, who can still have some kind of dating life, who can still meet women, who can still have some kind of female energy or presence in their life? These people, there's plenty of losers or plenty of bums that I know, and yet they can have sex, they can talk to women, they can get genuine love and affection from a woman. A woman will cook for them. A woman will buy them a PS5. A woman will buy them a pair of Jordans. But then there's some losers who are just invisible and unwanted and can't get that. And it's like, I don't get it. It's like like I said before, like society is backwards and all that, but people just don't want to wake up and realize that. People want to live in their Disneyland fairy tale version of what they think reality is and all that shit. And there's also another reason why some people aren't successful and all that, because they don't want to just wake up and see shit for what it is and all that. And I remember I made that video called "The Harsh Reality for Black Men," part 1 and part 2 and all that. And it's like, And I remember I was even talking to Chat GPT about this, and Chat GPT was like, even if you're in Chat GPT was gonna is like, okay, like you don't have to, like, in Chat GPT said this like verbatim and all that, like you don't have to be Elijah, you don't have to be a street nigga, you don't have to be running, you don't have to be in the streets, but if you are gonna be like a good dude, or you're gonna be a so-called square, which you're not, you gotta have hella money, good looks, a lot of status, career success, a clean and powerful image. But as a black man, if you don't have none of these things, then you're still just considered nothing. You're still gonna get treated like you're less than, or get treated like you're nothing, or you're gonna get treated poorly by society. Like, what's the point of having an education and having all the and working on these pointless jobs and all that shit, and doing all this and that third, if you're still just gonna get treated the exact same way? Like, yeah, yeah, certain black men can be positive, can live a positive lifestyle, and can be educated and be good, decent people, but they have something to show for it. What's the point of having an education if you have nothing to show for it? What's the point of working hard and having common sense and being intelligent if you have nothing to show for it? Like, a lot of people think that just, education, hard work, and a job and all that, and a pointless sheet of paper, also known as a certificate or a diploma. Like, what's the point of having all this shit when you don't really have nothing to show for it, though? What's the point of me having all this education and being a decent person, and not being a hoe, and not harming anyone, and staying to myself and playing by society's script and all that, if I'm still going to get negative reinforcement for playing by the rules that were put upon us in the first place? This is why you see a lot of people trying to go against the script, whether they do it in a negative way or in a positive way as well, especially in a negative or in an illegal way as well. And I want to speak on this real quick as well. I even saw a video saying that Gen Z is, in the video was called "Gen Z Kill the Street Culture." Okay, so Gen Z can kill the street culture, but it can't kill the 9 to 5 culture. Why is that? And for anybody watching this video, can you please answer that in the comment section on YouTube? So we can abolish gang banging and being a street nigga and living the street lifestyle. So why can't we abolish the 9 to 5 lifestyle then? Gen Z kills street culture. How about we make a why don't they make a video called "Gen Z killed the 9 to 5 culture"? Because at the end of the day, like I said, you're giving your life, your energy, your freedom, your time, and all that to all these companies and businesses and all that, just to still be broke and poor and all that. And then it's like we don't have, and then it's like our generation, like we're working all these damn hours and all that, and all this pointless education, but we're stuck in survival mode. We don't have time to go out and live a life. We don't get to like run around, and we don't get to have a full-time job and get to do all this stuff and then run around like women get to. We don't get to, you know what I'm saying, be like, no homo, no diddy, but we're not females and all that. We don't get to just like, we can't just have a job and go out and hang out with the girls after work and go get our nails done and do all this after work and all that. And you know what I'm saying? And then I remember I was talking to my dad about like sex and relationships and all that, and I'm sick and tired of him having to, let's go to school, man. Just do this, just do that, just like, why do I have to work so damn hard and go through all this to get one fucking girl when there's people out there who can do the bare minimum, or even do less than bare minimum, and it just falls in place and it just comes to them naturally? How come I can't get it naturally? Why can't it fall in place for me naturally? Why I gotta go through all this shit and do all this goddamn work just for the bitch to either reject me or still not want me? Why should men go through all this, that, and the third just for the girl to still reject him and not want to fuck them, or not want to be with him and all that? And that's even the reason, another reason why some people, or why some men at least are lazy, because there's this thing called also the male loneliness epidemic. Like back in the 90s, the 80s, and the 70s, people's mental health and everything was a whole lot more better and all that, and we didn't have all this social media, OnlyFans, porn, and high ass standards and all that. But nowadays, it's tough out here, and these older generations, they don't seem to want to understand it, or they just don't want to listen and all that. They just use the whole, go to work, go to school bullshit narrative and all that, and But then it's like, what was it like? I just don't get why my mom would tell me to go to work and go to school and do this, that, and the third. And then I've done it. I went to multiple schools. I worked multiple jobs. And today my mom called me, and my mom called me a loser. So then it's kind of like, what's the point of going through all this when people are, and what's the point of going through all this when people are still going to talk shit on you and have something to say? Like, I'm following society's rules. I'm playing by the script like I'm supposed to, and people are still giving me negative reinforcement. And plenty of men are playing by society's rules, and they're playing by the script, and they're still getting negative reinforcement. And a lot of men are just fed the fuck up, and a lot of men are getting sick and tired of it, and I am as well. And I feel like it needs to come to a point where like even men need to come together and do some kind of revolt and all that. But this is America. We're all soft as fuck. We're all too comfortable. We're all too poor. We're all stuck in survival mode and all that. So we don't even have the energy to get up and do anything or fight back or even protest or anything. What happened to the good old days where people used to come together and used to like have a protest or like walk around with like picket signs and like angrily protesting and all that, and like doing whatever it takes to get our point across or doing whatever it takes to get our message across to society and all that. But nobody wants to protest anymore. Nobody wants to go on a riot. No, I mean, okay, what am I? Not a riot. I misspoke. My bad. Not a riot. What am I talking about? Riots are actually very destructive, very chaotic, and very dangerous, and you can actually end up getting killed or arrested. But people just need to like, people need to start doing more like going on a revolt or a protest and all that. And um, I also want to give a shout out to another one of my favorite YouTubers, Long Beach Griffey. And all that, bro. His skits are actually hella funny too. He's always like making like skits about like what's going on like in society and all that. And his skits are actually very funny. So for anybody watching this video, go check out my boy Long Beach Griffey and all that. And his skits are actually hella accurate and like very true and all that. And it's like, bruh, he's really calling these people out and all that. Like, I'm surprised that nothing has happened to him or nobody's like called him out or went after him and all that, because he can make the skits like, the skits are also like very serious and very accurate, but they're also like very funny, and it's like a very funny way to like call out society for its BS and all that. And I actually respect Long Beach Griffey for doing that. But yeah, man, I just wanted to make a part two to this video called like laziness, or why some people are lazy, or why some people might or might not be lazy and all that. I'm still trying to figure out a title for this video and all that, but I just had to speak and just get my point across and all that. And then another thing I want to speak on real quick in this video and all that is that I don't know. I just wish that we had more people that thought the way that we did, or thought the way that I did and all that. And I wish there were more people who were more like hyper self aware, cautious, and I'm not going to use the word woke and all that, but just like very cautious, hyper self aware, hyper have a high amount of like a high level of like cautiousness and all that. And I feel like the world would change for the better if people like had this, but a lot of people are just like drones and NPCs, and a lot of people they just go along with like whatever society says and does and all that. So until then, nothing's ever gonna change and all that. And people can bitch and cry and, oh, nothing's ever gonna change. This won't change. That won't change. But nobody wants to get up off their ass and make an effort to do shit. So until then, that's just what it is, man. But I want to talk about religion real quick. And I don't want to, and I'm not trying to disrespect nobody's religion. I'm not trying to like talk down on nobody. I'm not trying to be negative either. But if I was God, if I was Jesus Christ, this world would be a whole lot better place. All the stuff that all the negativity and all the suffering and all the stuff that happens on this earth that's bad and terrible wouldn't be going on this earth. I just don't know how people think there's some and like I said in one of my videos also, I'm half atheist, half believer, but I'm more, I would say I'm like nine like I'm like I would say I'm 70% atheist and 30% believer, but I'm more on the atheist side. But I still have to keep an open mind to that. And I don't want none of you religious, I don't want no religious people, or I don't want nobody who believes in religion to get like, I mean, honestly, I don't give a fuck how angry people get. Like, if you get angry at me, then be fucking angry. But I just don't want to like just get on. I don't want to get on nobody's bad side because I know how people take this religion shit seriously, and um, people want to talk about like heaven and hell and all that, but then it's like the people who live by society's rules are the ones living in hell, like are the ones living in hell and suffering and struggling and going through it 5 days a week and all that, are going through it on a daily basis. Well, the devil's children or the people who go against society's script, or like I said, the devil's children. Yet it's like, why does the devil take care of his children, but then God doesn't take care of his children? He lets his children suffer and struggle to the fullest extent possible, and for what reason? I don't know why. And I don't know what kind of parent, like if God is our father, then I don't know why a father would want their child to suffer. Like, wouldn't you want your child to live the best life possible? When you want your children, when you want his children to be better than him, like how most parents are, like, oh, I want my child to be better than me. So, and then it's like, this is the same God that could turn water to wine and can part the sea of Moses, or could split a whole ocean in half, but he can't fix all this. He can't do nothing about all this other shit going on earth, like war, suffering, mental and physical illness, wage slaving. I can't say I want to say the word rape, murder, poverty, Africa, world hunger, crime, prostitution, dysfunctional families, toxic people, abusive people, and it's all these negative things that are happening on planet Earth, and all these negative people walking around on planet Earth, and all that. And then, and I even said this in one of my videos, and I'm gonna repeat myself. Evil wins on this planet. In reality, the bad guy wins. The good guy doesn't win, or if the good guy does win, it's not really that common, or not. It's pretty rare to see the good guy gain anything or really win. Like I said, like you got to have like a high status, a lot of money, good looks, career success, or a clean and powerful or successful image. And if you're a good person, or if you're a decent person and you don't have none of the things that I just named and all that, then you're just another nobody. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to put nobody down. I'm not trying to discourage nobody from doing what they're doing in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, champ. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep being a decent person and keep being you and all that, because I just made that video about self-improvement, about how you can't you can't just switch up and fix every little thing about yourself, but you can at least like work on some of your flaws and work on some of your impurities. You can do that, but you can't just fix every little thing and every little detail about yourself and all that, because as human beings, we're always going to have some kind of flaws, or always going to have some kind of impurities or something that's wrong with us and all that. And like I said, I'm mostly atheist, but I do have like it's like a pinch of faith, or whatever, and like God or whatever you want to call it. I guess like a very small amount, but I'm mostly an atheist though. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys get my point and all that. I've been on here for almost about an hour and all that. It's been like what 40 something minutes and all that. I feel like it was like a very good video. I feel like I got my point across, and yep, it's your boy Elijah B, and I'm back at y'all with a brand new video, man. And y'all already know what to do, man. Hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and like, comment, and subscribe down below, because y'all already know what kind of time it is. I'm out, and have a good night, y'all. Peace out.